to put some shadows beneath it. So using our floor shadow brush, we will do just that. Keeping our flow on 100%, we're just going to make these shadows really small and make sure they actually go underneath the boot, like so. And we'll do the same for the shadow. This shadow here and the ball, we want to keep them the same height so the shadows aren't looking too indifferent from each other. And we'll probably put one more here and one more here just to make it a little bit stronger. Then we'll make a new layer. Using our soft brush, we're going to flatten it. I'm not going to change the angle, we're going to flatten it to about this size, and then we'll come to our flow and our opacity and drop that down. And then we'll also change the opacity here as well, just because it creates a bit more shadow as well around these sides, and we want a bit of shadow behind because our light source is coming from the sides, and we also obviously need shadow behind too. So now again, we'll come to Kevin De Bruyne, make a new layer above him, and then create a clipping mask, put our opacity back up, but knock our flow down to around 15%. And now we'll draw our shadows in, like so. And we'll continue to draw those shadows in. Might just increase the opacity, the flow on the shadow tool a little bit. And we'll come back into our layer and we'll fix these shadows up. So we'll just make this round brush a little bit more straight and really put those shadows in, just so there's not really a difference between what we can see. And we'll get our normal soft round brush, and just because we can see a bit of the grass on the side of the ball, we'll increase our flow and just fix that up. So now we're going to come into our Kevin De Bruyne, and we're going to go to Camera Raw Filter, and we'll increase our exposure by 0.15, put the clarity up to around 22%, increase the texture, come to our sharpening and increase that by about 48%. But what we're going to do is we're also going to increase our saturation, just because he's a little bit desaturized from what the image originally was. And we'll turn down the greens on our saturation and hue, but also increase the oranges as well. And we can just see the difference that that's made. So again, what I'm also going to do is come to our photo filter and put that on Kevin De Bruyne as well as also putting our 3-strip layer on him too, like so. But we'll also play around with that opacity just so he doesn't come too orange. Now I'm going to make 2 new layers beneath our shadow layer. Middle, and just keep this kind of overarching effect with the glow coming down on our sides, so it doesn't seem too blocky. and we'll put that flow right down, and we'll just put it in patches, just so it seems less blocky than it already looks. So for my next step, I'm going to create a new layer in front of De Bruyne. And with this kind of shadow we've got here, I'm just going to put some shadow on the front of the grouse, just to contrast it a little bit more and have that kind of vignette at the bottom. And we'll also put some on the sides too. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this kind of orange, and we'll move back to our soft brush, and we're going to put a little bit at the sides as well, and at the bottom. And I'll also change to this kind of grayish we've got going on too, and chuck that in as well. We want a bit more orange though, but we can just kind of see the difference that those two layers make in terms of how it sits with our color corrections and stuff. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to repeat this process for all of our images. So I'm just going to use the exact same filters and all that kind of stuff, as it will all be the same for the graphic. But what I'm going to do is actually just play around with the photo filters just a little bit more, just because I want a bit more stronger orange coming through, since they, contrasted against an orange background. And we'll do the same for Kevin De Bruyne as well. And we can just see the difference that that makes. So again, I'm going to copy the same camera raw filter, like so. And we'll just drag and drop this onto all of our images. We might just get rid of a little bit of the density on that Benzema there, just because it's a little bit too strong with those oranges that are coming through. There might be a layer that isn't clipped. Not sure why it looks that strong. That's all right. And we'll do the same for Vinicius. What I'm actually going to do is make De Bruyne just that little bit bigger. So we'll increase his size like this, as we just kind of want him contrasting to the sizes of the other images. And we'll also play around with the sizes of Benzema and Vinicius as well. Just make everyone a little bit bigger than they already are, so they take a bit more graphic, and it just gives a little bit more meaning with how big our sizes are compared to the rest of the background and foreground. So for my next few steps for all of the images, what I'm going to do is come to camera raw filter, and then we're going to come to our blue warming filter, and then we're actually going to change this color to a blue I selected from the sky. We'll turn that density right up to around 70%. Press Ctrl I on our mask, and with our flow on 16% and our white brush selected, what we're going to do is we're going to outline some blue density around the sides, just so it kind of matches the rest of our graphic. So we've still got our oranges there, and we've still got our blues there as well to match the sky. And we'll do the same for Karim Benzema. So what we'll do is we'll now press Ctrl backspace and outline our blues on the sides. And as we can see, here's the difference it makes. Kind of just matches the colors for the rest of the graphic, since we've got the sky on the side as well. And we'll do the exact same for Bernardo Silva too. And we can just see the difference that that makes. Gets rid of a bit of the too much of the orangey going on, and balances with our blue sky. Now for my next few steps, what I'm going to do is put some kind of light glows behind all of the images, like so. And we'll do the same for in between Karim Benzema and Vinicius, and as well for De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva, like so. Now we'll come to Vinicius, keeping our flow around 16%. We're just going to put some light around his sides, like so. And then we might play around with the blending modes on that and see how they look. Change around with our flow and put it on linear dodge add. Then we'll do the same for Benzema as well. So we'll put it on linear dodge add and just play around with this kind of light coming around the sides. And we can see the difference that that makes. And we'll do the exact same again for Bernardo Silva. Just putting a light around the sides just to add some more light in around the graphic. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use our UEFA Champions League logo. We'll put this in the top left corner. Click on the layer and our layer effects. Put the Champions League white on it just so this logo stands out. Then what I'm going What we'll now do is we'll drag our Manchester City logo in, like so, and we'll create a clipping mask. We actually want it to clip on the other other layer, rectangle. We'll drag it in, make it a little bit bigger, and we kind of want that flagship to be the main point, and we'll turn it like so. We'll also do the same for Real Madrid. Drag it in, create a clipping mask, have that kind of CF as our main point, so people know it's obviously Real Madrid, and then turn it to the same kind of angle. Then we'll come to this Real Madrid this layer here, turn it to a blue, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the font Babus New, change this to a white, put in Etihad Stadium, we'll actually clip it on this time, don't delete the layer, and then we'll just drag and drop it, decreasing the size and putting the text in here, making sure it's in the middle of the rectangle. So what we'll do is we'll hold the two layers together and then use this tool to make sure they're together. Putting those two together, and then we'll make sure it has a middle on it, and then we'll increase the sizing, and then we'll change this to our bold so that text stands out, and we'll actually just decrease that VA. There we go, that's how I made this matchday graphic. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe, like, comment down below what you want to see next. See ya.